Engaged at 17, married at 18, and a parent by the age of 19, that was Abby Stein's life as a member of the Orthodox Hasidic community in Brooklyn. But big decisions lay ahead. First, Stein left the religion to pursue an education, and last November began a transition to live life as a woman. She's now a trans activist and a student at Columbia University. She was in Montreal this week to share her story. Daily Vice's Brigitte Noel sat down with her to discuss what it's like to come out transgender to your deeply religious family.
Pretty much how I would describe it is I was raised in New York City, but couldn't speak English until I was 19. The language I was raised with Yiddish, then in school we learned Hebrew and Aramaic. There was no access to internet, movies, TV shows, outside music, outside newspapers. None of these. We lived in the city, but it was kind of an enclave. So when I got to a point where I was like, I have too many questions and I have to figure it out. I was like, oh, there's this terrible place or thing or whatever called the internet. I read the Hebrew Wikipedia page on transgender, that's what I remember. I was blown away, shocked, relieved, anxious, and like all at the same time, like from seeing that there's this whole movement out there. So I told my father I have something that I have to tell him. And it took about an hour for my father to even like grasp of what's going on. Once he did, he pretty much stood up and said, I might not be able to talk to you ever again, and left. And I haven't heard from him since. This is who I am, and there's no other me, and I can't live like another me. So I would really hope that they could see that, and they could recognize that I'm still their kid, that I'm still their sibling. And I'm not even expecting them right now to accept me for who I am fully. Just deal with it, live with it.
Fiancée à 17 ans, mariée à 18 ans et parent à 19 ans. C'était la vie d'Abby Stein en tant que membre de la communauté juive ultra-orthodoxe de Brooklyn. Mais après avoir vécu toutes ces étapes, Abby Stein a choisi de quitter sa religion pour avoir accès à une éducation laïque. Et en novembre dernier, Abby a commencé sa transition pour devenir une femme. Elle est maintenant une activiste pour les droits des personnes trans et une étudiante à l'Université Columbia. Abby Stein était de passage à Montréal cette semaine pour partager son histoire.
How I would describe it is I was raised in New York City, but couldn't speak English until I was 19. The language I was raised with Yiddish, then in school we learned Hebrew and Aramaic. There was no access to internet, movies, TV shows, outside music, outside newspapers. None of these. When I went to the internet first, I have to point out, I actually was hoping that I'm going to find answers. I wasn't looking to leave the community. I was looking to find answers to all the questions and struggles that I had, but it only got worse. And not only that, it was also like when I started being exposed to like the inner problems of the community that are not necessarily related to religion, such as arranged marriages.
At what point did you realize being transgender is a thing and I'm not alone in what I feel?
That was actually the first thing. I read the Hebrew Wikipedia page on transgender, that's what I remember. I was blown away, shocked, relieved, anxious, and like all at the same time, like from seeing that there's this whole movement out there. I came out to my father, that his response was very much, I'm not going to be able to talk to you anymore.
So you've sacrificed a lot for this.
In some ways I have sacrificed a lot, but in so many other ways, it's not that I had a choice. I was at a point where it was this or no life at all. Thankfully, I never was at a point of suicide that a lot of trans people do get to. So obviously, yeah, I had to sacrifice a lot, but I got myself.
Do you think that the ultra-Orthodox community will eventually become flexible or open to different gender identities or gender fluidity?
I really, really hope that the Orthodox community will change when it comes to gender identity, but I would be very naive to say that there is a change on the horizon. Right now, all I want to, and I definitely already accomplished that halfway, is having them recognize that we exist. As much as I don't expect them to accept it, at least they have no option, but they have to talk about it.
Et maintenant,